Hello and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how we added Versetta Stone to the front of our fixer-upper house. The first thing my husband did is remove the bottom 4 rows of siding with a crowbar and hammer going very slowly. The plan is to take the 4 bottom rows of siding off of the front part of the garage and the side part of the garage, and that's where the stone is going to go. And then on the front part of the house, the stone will go from the bottom to the top. And on the right part of the house at the front, there will be 5 rows taken off and replaced with stone. What my husband said was you have to take the corner piece off first, and once you get the corner piece off and you lift the one on the top up enough, then you can get the nails out. So this is after the siding is removed and my husband hammered and nailed the bottom corner pieces flush with the plywood. And at the bottom where this piece of wood is sticking out, he'll cut it with the Dremel. Our contractor made us white aluminum flashing corner pieces that we attached where each corner of the stone was going. This is what the flashing looked like from the front side. This is just showing where we had to shim the flashing out a little bit because the plywood wasn't level. My husband also attached at the bottom some more flashing, and this is where the bottom row of the stone will sit. And at this side of the house we'll have the stone coming down to this, and then we just have this extra piece of flashing underneath to protect for water. Over here we added a corner piece of flashing. And again, we kept the corner pieces on, but just hammered flat the insides of those, so you won't be able to see that unfinished stone that would normally stick out because we're not returning the stone onto this side. This is the next part of the house at the front, and my husband removed 5 rows of aluminum siding. We will be saving and reusing this, and I'll show you where near the end of this video. So we took all these corners off first that were riveted in first. Actually, my husband did that. Drilled the rivets out, and then used a siding removal tool to get the first one off, and then we just took the nails out of all the rest. So we're going to take out the strip there on the bottom and replace it. And then it will be time for the adhesive paper. This is where my husband cut off the bottom piece of the old flashing from the siding. The bottom piece of flashing is now up, and then we'll be putting the side pieces of flashing on next. And here's just another example of the bottom corner pieces of our aluminum siding and how they were bent out and then hammered flush and nailed just before putting on the corner flashing pieces. This is the adhesive paper that we used, peeled off the plastic on the back and then adhered it to the plywood, making sure that it's under the very last piece of siding that will be shown. And here's what the paper looks like after it's been put up, taped, and nailed into the plywood. So we got all the paper up and taped the seams where this little conduit goes in. We just made a slit in the paper and then taped around that seam. And at the front of the house where this bay window is, we're removing all of the siding, and that is going to be stone from the bottom to the top. The tools that we need for the stone are exterior screws 1 5/8 inch, a drill, a level, and a broom, a Dremel tool, and a diamond saw blade for the sliding miter saw, and also a circular saw to cut the metal. This is the first piece of Versetta Stone that was set on the front. You can see it's right beside this conduit here, and there's a metal tab at the top of the stone, and that's where you screw in the screws into the plywood. This is where my husband is cutting off the bottom sections of the Versetta Stone to make it even, and this part sets on the flashing. After the bottom first row was done, we started working at the corner, stacking each row. Versetta has specific pieces that you order for corners and edges. These specific pieces provide a nice finished edge so you don't see the cuts from your blade. Here you can see the corner piece is on the left side and the unfinished piece is on the right side. And the cut piece that you see here will be in the middle of the row. Here you can see how the rows of Versetta Stone are going up, and there are little grooves in each row, so each stone fits on top of one another. And my husband measures left and right to make sure the distance is equal on both sides. I wanted to show how the corner pieces fit together. You stagger each finished edge. Here's a good view. You can see how the top row is finished on the left and the next row below that is finished on the right. And here's the front portion of the garage that is finished. We have the other front yet to do, and we will next be putting the ledge on top. And here's the other side of the garage door. So on this side we used 4 rows of the Versetta Stone, and we had taken down 5 rows of the aluminum siding. My husband's measuring and cutting the ledges now with the miter saw. How my husband attached these was he got a longer bit attachment and just pulled out that bottom row of siding enough to get the bit attachment and his drill into the holes of that metal flange. don't breathe.
I said don't breathe.
This is what it looks like after doing both sides, and the next project is to do the middle section there beside the front door and the bay window. After we put the adhesive paper on the porch, we attached the outlet cover that we got, and this will make the mounting of the stone much easier to go around the outlet. We put the flashing at the bottom again, and we also put some around the window and at the sides. Here we have the bottom row of the front part finished. So pieces like this that stick out, you can use that oscillating tool and some stain or paint to make it look real. So I did that here and down here, over here. And these are the corners where you do a corner facing out this way, then the next layer up you do a corner facing out this way with a flat behind it. Here's the progress we've made so far. Almost finished, just the top needs some construction adhesive to finish off the front of the space here. Sometimes on the Versetta stones you will have to cut off the tab on the side in order for it to fit up against a wall or whatever you're putting up against. And so here he's just hammering those tabs off before he puts that piece on the wall up under the porch. Remember how I said we needed to save some siding? Well, we got a new garage door that was a foot shorter. This is what the old door looked like. And we also moved it over to the left, so we had to take off all the siding and reconfigure. And this is what it looks like now. We needed to reuse the siding on the left and right sides and above the door. Let's do a flashback to what this house looked like before we put on the Versetta Stone. And look at the transformation now. If you've enjoyed watching the video, please like or consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.